What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle Pancis. If it's your first time tuning in, please be sure to smash that subscribe button. If not, thanks for your continued support. Today, we're gonna go ahead and hop into this 2011 Saab 9.5. We're gonna go ahead and remove the front skin, take a deeper, closer look of what's going on underneath there, seeing what's really damaged, what's not damaged, what is salvageable, is the transmission gonna be safe, can we fix it? These are the things we're gonna hop into this video. But the first thing we're gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and take the power washer and we're gonna power wash this car and just clean it up a little bit because it is dirty. And I'm also gonna go ahead and clean up this engine bay and degrease it and get it clean, because if I'm gonna work on it, I might as well have it decently clean. So that's what we're gonna do first. So let's hop into that and we'll keep you guys updated as we go. All right, so before we get the degreaser out, I'm gonna go ahead and lift this plastic cover up, I think. Just gonna vacuum out some of the crap that's in here. You guys can see it, all of that stuff, and then we'll get the degreaser out and clean this whole thing out. Okay, that was easy. Next up, getting the degreaser on there and let it sit for a few minutes. So degreaser, guys, and here is soapy water with dishwasher detergent in it. Okay, now we got our brush. see all this dirt and grime coming out. Alright guys, so before we go ahead and remove this bumper, I figured I'd just give you a walk around now that the car is finally cleaned. First wash complete. Check out this engine bay, guys. Look how the degreasing actually really cleaned it up nice. This thing was all crusty and greased up and stained, and everything just came out really good. So quick walk around. Rims cleaned up really nice. Paint overall around the car is actually in fairly nice shape, which is amazing. Car is actually beautiful, minus some of the flaws in the front. And in terms of the body overall, minus this little dent here, which we'll have to work on, it is in top shape. Now that we power washed the tires and degreased them, they look brand freaking new. You know, they were all stained up and dirty from sitting on auction, so those look nice. I went ahead and pumped up this rear tire again, so the tire is actually in good shape. So what I'm going to do is take that off at some point once we figure out the transmission, and just bring it to the shop, have them just maybe pull the tire off, reseat it, or inspect it where it's leaking, so we don't have to pay to replace that, because it's decent. So anyways, there it is, guys. Minus this little mess up here, the front bumper is really nice. So I bought a plastic welder. We're going to try to salvage this bumper since these things are really hard to find, so plus save me a lot of money. So let me get started here in a minute, and we'll disassemble everything. Alright guys, so I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse, but taking this bumper off from what I've seen online is fairly easy. I'm just going to start up here on the top here. All these top screws will disassemble the top skin. This side is busted, but that will pop out. Underneath, I think the under tray is completely taken out already, so I'll just double check, make sure there's nothing fastened, you know, holding that bumper, fastening that bumper on the bottom. And then of course we got ourselves a couple screws here, which will pop that out. And then this whole front lens, or excuse me, this whole front end will pop off, including these plastic trim pieces around the headlights. The headlights are separately attached, just so you guys know for the record. So yeah, let's hop into this. Alright guys, so besides for some screws along the outside underneath the car, the bottom of the bumper, under the frame, like straight down here underneath, are 2 of these plastic clips. And I'm pretty sure at this point I'm going to be able to pull this whole bumper off, and then I'm going to have to disassemble the headlight, washer fluid, sprayers, and the electrical for the fog lights. Pretty straightforward. Little tricky if you haven't done it before, like me. I'm going to lower the car back down. Okay. Alright, we are completely disassembled. Really not that difficult. And actually, I don't need to do anything except for unplug this harness here, which apparently just powers everything else up. So I'm just gonna unplug that, and then this completely separates from the car. Sweet! And here we are underneath. You guys can see that this was hit, pushed out. No frame damage, which is actually good news. Mike got lucky there. No, there's no metal damage anywhere. That's good. But let's see if this piping here is cracked up. Yep, here's the intercooler. I found that the intercooler is cracked. So there is that. That's why we have a rough idle. And that is why we have P1101, if you guys remember from the last video. So good news and bad news. So at least the good news is we're finding the stuff that's causing some of the problems. So that's the good news. The bad news is just, you know, we gotta replace it. But I'd rather know what's going on than not. Now, AC condenser is up front here. This looks like it's a little cracked, but not the end of the world. This here is the AC condenser, so let's inspect that, see what's going on there. So a lot to learn here, guys. This is a different car than what I'm used to, obviously, than on those, but the mechanics overall are the same. You got a turbo, so you got AC condenser, radiator, intercooler, kind of all chilling right here. So just figuring out what is what once I start looking at it. So good news, good news. So let me remove this bumper completely and then further inspect everything. Guys, one more bit of good news here that I think I was imagining in my brain is with some real patience, I must note, I will be able to salvage this bumper. One thing I noticed is I'm missing this LED light that goes right here, so, or whatever that is. I don't know if it's an LED light or just a cover, so not a big deal. We'll find one. But yeah, the bumper I'm gonna try to salvage. Because that will save me a couple $100. So if this cost me $500, let's say, and I need to do a transmission, at least the $500 can pay for a transmission. But God forbid that's the case. I might have other situations here that are causing a problem with the trans. So look at this, guys. It's just unbelievable how this hit. And we got very lucky here, it looks like. So I don't see much damage. So, and if there is, we might be able to get around some of the frame damage. We'll see. But yeah, let's start disassembling this stuff. Guys, holy smokes. Everything that I've been imagining prior to taking this car apart seems to be working out. So if you guys remember earlier on, I mentioned that the transmission wasn't working properly. It's either low on fluid, or maybe since that whole crater was pushed forward, that maybe one of the transmission lines is kinked. Thank God, guys. Look at this. So good news is the transmission should be fine. If you guys look right here, these are rubber hoses that go right into the transmission. And if you look at that top rubber hose, that thing is completely kinked. So this transmission is not getting full fluid, which is exactly what I was imagining. So I'm going to be going to order The radiator thankfully didn't break, but I will be ordering a new condenser and a new intercooler because clearly the intercooler's shot. No frame damage on the subframe, thankfully, and the transmission should be salvageable. So to wrap up some of the content on this video, I'm gonna go ahead and just temporarily pull this assembly back to unkink that transmission line. So by the end of this video, we know for sure that the transmission is working 100%. So let's keep it going, guys. This has turned out to be the best day of YouTube history for me. I mean, I was so nervous with this car when it arrived and it wasn't working. But all of the things as I was looking, like I said, those were all of the things that I was thinking about could cause the problem. And it looks like I might be right. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna get a pry bar out and slowly try to maneuver this whole frame back into place. So at least those things are unkinked, and then I'll order some parts because clearly we need a condenser. I don't know what is on the front here, but we'll figure it all out. This stuff is going to take time for me to figure out. It's different, definitely more complex than the old generation Saabs. So we'll need to do some figuring out, but oh man, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. All right guys, so we got a cracked intercooler. We figured out the transmission issue, which is the kinked line. And since I bought a plastic welder for the front bumper, which we're gonna save, I think instead of spending money on the intercooler, maybe I'll just see if it's like 50 bucks, I might just buy it if I can get one used. But the intercooler, I might be able to plastic weld as well, because it just needs, the plastic just needs to get put back together. So let's go ahead and just get a pry bar out and try to pull this whole assembly back into its original spot. And just like that, back. Pretty easy. All right guys, so I think, so since this is back in its place, the transmission lines seem to be a little bit more free. Let's just see if the car runs a little bit better in gear. See the turbo gauge going all the way up because the intercooler. Yep, trans works. All right guys, so I went ahead and just ordered a new intercooler. Found one for a decent price, even though that could probably be repaired, but whatever, might as well just get it done right. I think the AC condenser is fine. I did end up finding the low port, which is right in here, and I shot some fluid and it seemed to be holding pressure. I don't know why it's not working though, so you got to further diagnose that. But for the meantime in this video, I think we found out a lot of information. All of it is good. I'm gonna just check the trans fluid in one of the next videos. We'll get that thing situated. The more I run the transmission or the car now with that line unkinked, the more it seems to work. So I think it just needs to get the fluid cycled, and that's the intercooler issue. See, car's barely running with that intercooler. Oh. But anyways, you guys get the point. The car's moving a little bit better and better as I get the fluid going in the trans. So we'll just check that in one of the upcoming videos. In the meantime, like I said, we diagnosed everything, and so a couple things on the to-do list. We're gonna do the intercooler, service the transmission, we're gonna get the bumper fixed up, and in one of the upcoming videos as well, I ordered a new mirror that actually was matching paint code, which is amazing. So we're gonna get that on there, and yeah, so a lot of good news in this video. A little scared coming into this video, so luckily we were able to figure a lot of this out. So pretty freaking sweet, guys. So stay tuned for the next video. If you guys like this video, give it a like, comment below, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you guys have any suggestions or pointers, just reach out to me on Instagram at Kyle Pancis. Always happy to chat there. And till next time, we'll see you. Thanks for watching.